Welcome, everyone. Hey, glad you're tuning in today. You are rolling with Mike Asherbrenner. All right. Proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business community. Also, hey, professionally known as the Redneck Connector, folks. And give a big shout out, Mike King Biz on Mike King Biz Radio, ESPN 106.1 FM, RVA. If you're joining us live, welcome. Glad you're here. And if you're driving around or working on listening to the radio on the air, glad you're tuning in. Get your pencil and paper out. Take notes. And folks, we're going to get started. I am excited. I am absolutely excited for what we're about to discuss. We got one of the founding members, Shanda Crist. All right. And she's going to be talking about AI, but she's going to talk about that in plain English, folks, and for the rest of us. So let's get this party started. And oh, wow, they're coming in droves. Look, Homer is here. Lewis is here. Appreciate you, folks. Love having you guys in the house. Let's get going.
Looks like your business might be in a bit of a pickle. Don't you worry about a thing. You ain't alone in this. You're just a success story waiting to happen. Trust me on that. Every bump in the road is just an opportunity wearing a clever disguise. Welcome to the Hounds of Business community, where we don't just sit around twiddling our thumbs. Nope. We turn those obstacles into mighty fine stepping stones. This here's a place where high-level entrepreneurs and sharp professionals gather to grow their businesses and mindsets, kind of like how a good old gumbo needs the right ingredients to be something special. Ideas thrive here, and collaborations, well, they're as natural as sweet tea on a hot day. Success, it's a journey, and we're fixing to walk that road right beside you. Now, don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn for all the latest tips and insights. We're talking about the kind of wisdom that'll keep you ahead of the game. And while you're at it, head on over to our YouTube channel. We've got ourselves a treasure trove of videos, from expert interviews to webinars, everything you need to stay sharp in this fast-moving world of business. The Hounds of Business community? Well, we ain't just a network, we're a movement. So why not come on and be part of something bigger? Join us today and let's turn your business journey into a real Southern success story. Together, we'll achieve greatness, just like crawfish and singing on a Friday night.
Folks, hey, let me bring her up. And before you see her, and if you're on the radio, go to Hounds of Business on YouTube, Hounds of Business channel, LinkedIn, or you can send a carrier pigeon if you like to take notes. Find the links in the description. But let's bring Shanda up. She knows about crawfish and singing on a Friday night. You don't look the part, but you got a little bit of country in you, don't you?
Just a smidge, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. They're gonna find out. We got about 25 minutes.
Let's go for it.
Yes, ma'am. So this is mind blowing to me, right? So you're helping entrepreneurs quit scrambling like a chicken with their heads cut off, folks. And we are founding partners and members of something called the Entrepreneur Experience, right? Yeah. And her job is to cook up serious magic with AI. All right. So buckle up, hey, take notes, and we're going to get going, folks. This is, in my terminology, the Entrepreneur Experience levels the playing field, right? It puts you in the driver's seat to make things affordable and accessible. You know when to build a business, right? People say, oh, what do? I started a business, build a website. Why? Because someone told me to, right? And then you waste all money doing that. And then you never make the impact in the world. So thank you, Shanda, for joining us to give us, right, the scale ups, the startups, folks moving to the next level, concrete info, right? Just get to know you and, hey, what is this all about? So before we jump in the deep end, I want people to get to know you a little bit, right? Tell us about the moment when you realized entrepreneurs needed something different than what was out there. What clicked with you to say, I'm going to do something to help folks who want to build a business, maybe not sure how?
I think the defining moment for me was working with a client a year and a half ago. And I've told this story before, so if you've already heard it before, I apologize. And before I forget, Mike, thanks for having me back on. I love spending time with you. We all have a blast. There'll be nonstop laughs from here on out, so I can't wait.
Yes, ma'am.
Basically, what happened was I was running a real estate business, and we were trying to streamline our data. I'm a tech girl, and so your data's got to be clean. You can only work with what you have, and it better be good, it better be fast, and it better be efficient. And essentially, we had so many duplicates I didn't know what to do with, and we had 18,000 contacts. So I contacted the company that ran our CRM and said, hey, here's my problem. Other than going the 1995 XP route and going through by hand and looking for them, what's a different way to do this, to find these duplicates? And they said, well, that's the best way, just sort them. Well, no, that's not going to work. I have too much time. I don't have enough time to do all that. That just It's ridiculous. So I got on ChatGPT and uploaded those 18,000 contacts. And in less than 2 minutes, it found them, sorted them, deleted them. I downloaded them and put it on our CRM, and problem was fixed. And that's when I was hooked on AI. It saved me weeks worth of work, and contacted the company back and said, hey, this is how you do this from now, just so you know. And they're like, oh, I didn't even know you could do that. And I'm like, well, I'm a consultant, so here's my information. If you want to learn more, I will teach you.
See, this is where it gets interesting, folks, even more to me, right? So I got to ask, Shanda, you were a runway model, COO, and now you're helping folks wrangle AI.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not the traditional. So that's a lot of hats, right? So how in the world did all those experiences lead you where you are today?
Goodness, well, and I also homeschool. So there's that. There's a million little hats you have to wear, and you have to decide, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want? Do you want to go by everybody else's rules? Do you want to live in the box, or do you want your life to be a living work of art? And that's what my new desire is for this year, is if I'm not living art and my children aren't thriving and I'm not thriving and I'm not running around, I don't want to be running around taking my head cut off. I want to do this my way. And you absolutely can. There's no rules anymore. The rules are an illusion. What do you want? Let's make it happen.
Let's hone in on that real quick, because folks, they hear that and they go, oh, that's nice. No, you're absolutely dead on. You and we connected because you emphasize the inner work, right? Our mantra is this, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to speak for you, but our business, our impact, and legacy, that's what this is about. Yes. Not money, legacy will only grow to the level I'm willing to grow. Exactly. And that's where you put most of your time. That's why we connected. Brian Muka, we do the dojo, Invincibility, part of the Red Pill, our entrepreneur experience. And that's where we connected. It was like, look, AI, I mean, there's like grass, right? There's a ton of people that do what I and you do, but there's only one of us. So
exactly,
folks, when she says, if I can do it, you can do it, it's not a joke. And we put together a buffet, right, that can get that done for folks. So thank you for sharing that, because this is what the Hounds represents. This is why we partner so well with Mike King Biz, man. This is people that just wanted to, right? Like, somebody's got to do it. Might as well be me. Ain't nobody else seem to be doing it.
Why not you? Why does someone else get to have that life that you're sitting there going, oh, that looks really cool? Make it. You absolutely can. Reverse engineer it. Make it. What do you want? Write it down. Do you want to work 30 hours a week? Do you want to work 15 hours a week and still make it work? There is a way. Where there is a will, there is a way.
That's right. And what you said earlier, it was spot on, right? And folks in the comments, they get this. I know the folks in here. Hounds, friends of the Hounds, welcome. Thank you for supporting. And define who you are. Define the success for yourself. Don't do it because someone else told you to and everybody around you gets a job and pretend to be happy. That was me, right? So that's cut through the noise. Once you make the decision, then the how comes about. Like, how do I build this business? What's the first step I take? Is it a website? Is it all these other things people tell me? So you mentioned this before. Most entrepreneurs, right, business folks, coaches, whatever, they don't want to live on the razor's edge, right? Can you break that down, what that means for our listeners that are struggling with that balance or harmony in life right now?
The way I think of that, and you got to remember, like, I'm neurospicy, so it kind of turns into a Seinfeld episode sometimes. So just bear with me.
Yeah, we're behaving good, aren't we?
We are. We're doing so good. I'm so proud of us. Essentially, people always say the greatest thing is love. And love is great. Love makes the world go round. But what's more important than that is authenticity. As long as you're authentic, especially to yourself, you cannot be people pleasing. You cannot be trying to be everything to everybody. You are not for everyone. You were never meant to be for everyone. You are meant to be who you are meant to be. You're the only person on this entire planet who can be you. So what does that look like? What do you want to be? What dreams do you have that no one else has? What story do you have that no one else has? And that's the way you go. And it may sound crazy because, if you're an entrepreneur, we're not exactly considered sane. We're out there. We're living life on the edge. We are base jumping freaks and wanting to always go for that next thing because that's who we're meant to be. We are meant to push that envelope because if we don't push it, who's going to push it? And then the people who are waiting for you to be who you are, that opens the door for them.
Daggum straight. That was spot on. Here, we built, all right, thanks to Larry Call, right, Brian Muka. Larry saw the pain out there, and he saw people trying to get cats to bark, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be successful, you have to do it this way. Yeah, okay, well, but that's not my way, right? Like, I don't like it. I hate it. It's not who I am as a person. And this is why we get along so well. And it doesn't matter the topic. It matters about the mindset. So
Exactly.
when you come in here to the entrepreneur experience, you get folks like Shanda. You get them. And this thing, we'll get into it in a minute, but this thing was designed for folks to come in and, like, for example, they come into networking. They come into my networking clarity session. And they're like, I don't want to be here. I don't like networking, blah, blah, blah. Well, why are you here? Because somebody told me to. No. You need to go see Louisa. You need to go see Judy in her head trash, class. Mm-hmm. That's the best interest. And this is why we work so well together. It doesn't matter to me necessarily what you're talking about. You're talking from heart and experience, right? So let's dig down in that. So I'm curious, and I know the folks listening are, what's the biggest mistake that you see business owners making when they're trying to grow without upending their life? Because it can happen, right? Harmony is such a hard challenge when you start building the business. So what's some of the mistakes people make, because they just don't know any better?
It's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to ask questions, and it's okay to ask for help. And if you need to go, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus because I know this is a story we talk about in Dojo, but if you need to go get in the car and crank that music with the windows down and screaming to the top of your lungs, go do it. I need to go for my run every day. I have my different things. You need to understand that the grind is not where the accomplishments are going to be. It's actually in the peace. Where is your peace? Where do you get calm? Where do you get the grounding? And some people are like, oh, well, that sounds nice. No, why don't you go read up on Einstein? Every time Einstein had a massive, massive breakthrough where he got E = mc squared, he was having a picnic. And then he had a nap outside by a lake. I think it was by a lake. I might be messing up the story a little bit, so don't come at me. But the essential of it is he wasn't in a lab. He wasn't working 100 plus hours a week or even 80 hours a week. He was being calm. The breakthroughs come from the calm. When you are grinding your gears so hard and you're not getting everywhere, just stop, take a breath, go call Muka, get some breath work in, do those little things that we are all learning from each other to get to that next level.
My goodness. Yeah, and that was me, folks. We're not preaching. We're just saying, hey, we get you. We understand it. Yeah, mm-hmm. I got to keep grinding. My eyes are crossing. I'm miserable. I work 13 hours and I'm like, but I need 30 minutes more. No, what I needed to do was go spend time with my daughters and then put myself in a position to figure out how to create harmony. Good God, nobody. Yeah, that sounds as bad as it is. It's worse. But listen, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's guidance and there's support out there. So you can really shorten time frames, folks. So real quick, before we dive in, because I want people to take away, now that they understand the importance of, getting your heart and mind right, owning who you are and going through that. Now it comes to tactics, right? Now it comes to, AI is important. It's not going away. So how do I lean into it? But before we get there, Mike King, you are the man. They put this guy on the Jumbotron, man. Anywhere he goes, like during the ball games, he is the man around town because he pushes up his community and organizations like no other. So love our partnership, Mike King. Thank you for the opportunity to share on an international scale with you. And folks, hey, check it out. Hounds of Business, shameless plug. Don't do it alone. You have an impact to make. All right. So get the resources, people, and support to make that happen. All right. Redneck Camelot. Hey, Hounds of Business. You can find us on YouTube, Hounds of Business, LinkedIn, send an old school carrier pigeon. All right. I'll get those too. So we are back with Shanda, Crist, and we're talking AI, but we're not just talking AI, right? We're talking AI for entrepreneurs and people who just need what they need so they can go build a business. They don't want to be an expert in this like me, right? So let's talk about AI clarity sessions because, folks, and by the way, if you're on the radio and you're not watching this on the live, you can go to Red Pill Pathway, redpillpathway/events. You get a 7-day guest pass. You can go to any of the sessions. You can check mine out. You can check Shanda's out, and have fun. Right? Go figure it out. Then you'll get the information to say yes or no, and then you can share it with someone. Right? That's how we do it here. No sales pitch required. Just go check it out. So free guest pass. Go to redpillpathway.com/events and get at it. I'll be there. All right. So for folks who think AI, like me, robots taking over the world and robots talking to robots and all that jazz, how do you explain this technology and what it can do for people in their actual business, actually do for people's business?
I think we're at that point where you actually need to be asking the question, what can it not do? Within limitations. It's a lot that it can do. And there's, give it 3-4 more months. We'll be having very, very different conversations about this because agents are happening. And I don't want to get off into a whole bunch of terminology and everybody starts, she's talking about something I don't know what it is. It's fine. It's fine. Give it 3 days. There'll be a whole bunch more stuff that we can talk about. Essentially, one of the questions that I got just today from someone in Dojo, someone was asking, hey, I just got ChatGPT. I really like it. Everybody else uses all these different ones. Find the platform you like, whichever one seems to really answer your questions the best. There's several different options. Mine's ChatGPT because that's what I've always used. And he was asking about, I used to have 2 assistants. And now that I have retired from my current job and I'm shifting careers, I no longer have that. And I got really spoiled. How can I use AI to do that? He said, I want to plan a family trip. And so I was talking him through some prompts of, yes, you can absolutely, get flight information. You can do an itinerary, all this stuff. It will search all of it for you. What do you want? What's your ultimate goal? If you are a solopreneur and you're getting started and you're like me and you really loathe marketing, it can be your marketing PR assistant. It just depends on what do you want? What's your ultimate goal? And then you need to just reverse engineer it. And in the beginning, you may need someone like me to come in and say, hey, let me set this up for you. Let me make this run for you to where you only have to put in certain things. And then you're off to what you really enjoy doing, what you really excel at, and you making money instead of spending money, those $10,000 a month marketing budgets that you just don't have yet.
See, this is what I like about your approach and how you educate because you just said it. You said, how do I choose a platform? There's tons of them. There's Claude, there's all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. And you said what you like first. So that's an experience. Go out there and play with them. Yeah, one thing might be better than another, but just go play. Address this like a scientist. That's what you helped me do. You said, hey, scientists have experiments and they just explore. Stop putting pressure on it and just go play with the thing. You can't break it, right? Go make a menu. Go make a song. Have fun with this thing, and you'll learn as you go. And that's your approach, and that's why it's so daggum effective. Grandma can listen to you and go, I can use it now. And then you add on to it. So bravo. And let me ask you this real quick. I've got folks listening right now, lots of them, right? They might break up in cold sweats hearing, letters A and I together once they realize it don't spell Al, right? Like I did. But how do you take someone with this kind of apprehension, fear, aversion, and get them to actually use this stuff to make money, grow their business so they can take the staff and do more with it, right? How do you communicate with folks in this?
So let me give you an example so you can understand the options, possibilities. Somewhere around December, a friend of mine that I've known for a long time, he was looking for a job and he said, hey, Shanda, I want to get back into tech. Anyone hiring? And I flat out said, why are you calling me? I love you to death, but why are you calling me? You made all this stuff, 2 years ago and the technology wasn't there. Relaunch it. And he goes, oh, okay. So then I didn't hear from him for 2 weeks. He went down this huge AI rabbit hole. He built a platform on AI in 2 weeks. Now, for those of you who aren't like super tech nerds, I am a super tech nerd to a certain extent. That would have taken 6 months and at least on the low end, $30,000 to $40,000. He did it in 2 weeks, and then it only cost him $80 because of different things that he needed. So when I said earlier, you need to be asking, what can it not do? That's what I mean. There's so many possibilities. It's one of those, you need to talk to a consultant and say, hey, this is my idea. This is my company. How can we spend a smaller amount of money on a consultant to help us build this, this, and this versus hiring 5 or 6 people? Let's get it through that hard growth part, that hard first 6 months, that first year where most people just get so frustrated and give up. When you can take that, a very small investment, and give it to a consultant, and let's show you the real ROI in real time. Let's show you what we can do to make you money, like this week or next week, depending on what exactly you're doing with all of that.
Because you can relate to people, all people, and you're not throwing the baby out of the bathwater. You're meeting them where they are, and then you're wrapping this around it. So you're dead right. So those 4 or 5 people that are doing that task, if we can set it up easy, and because that's what they say, I don't want to do this. I say I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this AI thing. It's too confusing. It's and I made all kind of excuses. Yeah. Well, okay. It's not going to be personal, and I'm a personal guy. Blah blah blah. No, it didn't. It automated the nonsense, so I can go serve and be more personal, and then my staff and the folks in the house can go do like meaningful work. So it's not the AI is the problem. It's the coach or the person that you're hiring, their intentions and their expertise is that, and that's why we're having you on here. That's why we have you in Red Pill Pathway, right? That brought entrepreneur experience to the table. So let's dive in real quick, because this is what I like about you the most, because this is where we relate the most. And I do business, like a lot of the listeners, with people that not only do I know, like, and trust, but can get things done, and we're aligned. So you have a very much a family first approach. All right. You talk about it all the time and you practice it. And that's very rare to me in business. Yeah, people might talk about it, but you're about it, right? You're not just talking.
Thank you.
So anyway, how did you figure out systems that let high-powered, high-value men and women that are doing things work in just a few hours a week? Like, how did you actually get to that? It sounds like a unicorn in a haystack, but it is possible. It's not overnight. So elaborate a little bit on that.
It's really the school of hard knocks of what I went through, of, what I was talking about, reverse engineering. I want this. These are my limitations. And I don't like the word no. And I don't like not being able to do something. Everyone knows I'm like this super nerd research person. If there's something that I can't get around it or under it or over it or whatever it is, whatever that mountain is, we're going to blow up the mountain. Like we are getting to the destination, and we're going to do it with the parameters that I have. So utilizing that with clients, but then at the same time, having the empathy to understand that they're frustrated. They want certain things. This is our digital age. This is, there was the Gilded Age, there was all these different revolutions. This is ours. This isn't going anywhere. This is only going to get more and more intense in a good way. You got to embrace the change. And that's what I love about what we're setting up for our session through entrepreneurial experience, because I'm teamed up with Jesse Stork. If you don't know him, you need to seek him out. He's a tech person too. What's great about us is I get to be the creative part, and then he gets to do all the back end stuff that I'm not super excited about. But I understand the sales engineering part of it. I understand certain limitations to what platforms can and can't do. So we can bounce ideas off of him to be like, okay, yes, we can do this. No, we can't do this. Or, oh, what if we just shift it a little bit and pivot it? And then this way we can save someone a lot of money and time, because, as time's our most lucrative resource, we can't get it back. We don't know how much we have left of it. And that I'm all about being with my kids. I spend all my time with them. I want them first and them learning from me. I want my ceiling to be their floor. And not just that, but I want my clients to understand that everything that I do for me, you can do for yourself. And you're going to learn something from me, and then you're going to do it 100 times better and teach someone else. That's the ultimate goal of, we're not gatekeeping all of this. We're doing custom work for each and every client, but then we want everyone to flourish. We don't want you to have a limitation. I don't want you to have to come back to me in a year and go, okay, we set all this up. Oh, crud. We hit this certain ROI or this certain, monetary goal, and now we have to rework the whole system. No, let's set it up right from the get-go. Let's get you going so you can just keep going through those barriers. And then, yeah. And then let's get you to the fun stuff. Let's get it to where you can have the agents and doing the really expensive AI projects. And that's the stuff that people don't even know about yet. You know, this is just the tip of the surface. There is so much fun and so many things that we can be doing, but you have to have that investment to be able to do it.
Folks, did you hear that? Because I heard it. I heard it early on when she was answering the question. It's not about the tool and this and the business. Like, the ultimate goal is that this person has pain, and it's keeping them from doing what they want to do in life through their business, right? They have pain. That's what stuck out about me with you, that it's not about just the ROI. Listen, it's about that guy or that woman who spends 18 hours and to provide for her family, but now she can't enjoy her family. Like, this is the seriousness. This is the underlying thing, that all of this stuff that we're providing through the entrepreneur experience that you're doing through your AI business and the coaching and the sessions that matter. Like, what is the outcome? Yeah, money and growth, but what's the other outcome? That you don't burn yourself to a crisp doing it, that you don't lose your family. Oh man, see, this is the heart and soul of who we are, folks. And y'all know this. That's why I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining. So in the last, 2 minutes that we got here, told you time flies when you're having fun. I pulled up on the screen. So walk us through a little bit. So people can come in, get the guest pass, and go in there and then essentially explore, check out different rooms. We have things that help you internally, right? To get through all the garbage that keeps us from being bold and courageous and figuring things out. And then we have the business traction side, right? That help people get down to brass tacks. So, people out there sitting around going, man, I actually need what she talks about. Tell us your side of it. So what can they expect in the 7-day guest pass with you and Jesse when they sign up?
So you kind of hit on all of it. Everything works together with entrepreneurial experience. That's why there's a 7-day guest pass. That's right. Why we love it. And one of the big things that we always talk about as our own journey is there's somebody else out there. I'm going to steal Muka's line. Sorry, Muka. There's somebody else out there who has like a third of your talent, and they're making like 5 times more than you because they didn't know they couldn't do it. They didn't have the head trash. You've got to get through the head trash. You've got to work through all the pieces. Yes, you can come to my AI class. I would love to have you. But the truth of the matter is you need to go to all the different things and find out what is really holding you back. What am I playing in my head? Talk to Judy and Louisa and really dive into, I'm using these words. This is what I'm telling myself. I am self-defeating myself. And you got to turn it off and you got to shift and pivot. Because we can do all the SOPs, we can do all the different operations pieces, but if you don't get your head right, if you don't get your head in the game, and if you're not there completely for the things that you really want, goals, it's never going to work. And like exactly what you were saying, it doesn't matter if you get to your financial goals, if you lose everything on the way. Because to me, my family is the most important thing. And if that means I have to sacrifice something else to keep my family and the people I love and my circle, I will, because I'm nothing if I get there and I don't have them with me.
Wow. So again, you get it. And that's why I'm honored to be here. That's why we created this buffet, because nobody walks in to a buffet and they don't make vegans eat steak at a good restaurant. And that's the mentality we have here. Come in, explore, and get in where you need to be. And then when you graduate, go to the next level, like a video game. So in 30 seconds, all right, what is it that one piece of advice that you can give to entrepreneurs, startups, coaches, whatever, right? People building their own business, right? They're working their butts off. They have no life and they can't, they're not getting where they want to go. What's one little baby step they can take right now to start moving forward? Change that.
And this is going to hurt, Mike, for both of us. You have to love yourself. You absolutely, positively have to love yourself, and you have to be able to value yourself. If you do not do that, nothing will work ever.
Truth bomb. And then the second step is get the 7-day guest pass, redpillpathway.com/events. Shanda, we're going to have you back because we're out of time. Folks in the comments, hounds, friends of the hounds, You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Go get the guest pass and then share it. If it ain't for you, that's fine. Ain't nobody going to bother you. But then the next time someone goes, oh, I'm not cut out for this, that, I stink at business, you say, no. I know some folks, right? Go check out the Entrepreneur Experience. Meet Shanda. Sorry. So, folks, we're going to run out of time. We will see you next week. My goodness, Mike King, you're the man. Hounds, love you to death. Entrepreneur Experience. Cannot wait to blow this up to the next level. Folks, have a good day. We'll see you on the next one. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.